Short codes, long codes, keywords, oh my. All right, so there are these are the numbers and the letters that you use in the text messaging world. And you really do need to understand them because it makes a difference in what vendors you're going to choose, how you're going to use what you're going to be doing with your campaigns will determine which kind of short code or long code you're going to get. And you really also need to understand about keywords, some of the ideas and the ways that you can use them. First of all, the basics of it are the keyword is the word that is used to basically put people onto a specific list. So if they text pizza into a short code or a long code, they're on the pizza list, and vice versa. And the short codes are 5 or 6 digit codes that are powered by the cell phone carriers. They have ultimate control over them. The long codes are phone numbers, and they're a lot more flexible in terms of who can use them and how. All of this is powered by text messaging vendors. So these are companies that have the technology for their an online software that you would use, sort of like you would use an email company like Constant Contact or Aweber. You basically use them for collecting the phone numbers and sending out the messages and keeping track of the lists and the people who remove themselves from the list, etc. In the anatomy of the campaign, which again you've seen several times, what this step is really all about is actually how the messages are sent through the short codes, the long codes, and the keywords. All right, so what the heck is the difference between a short code and a long code besides how many letters are in it, how many numbers are in it? First of all, besides that one obvious factor, the short code must be provisioned by each cell phone carrier individually. So when a company gets a short code, they have to go through this very long, seriously like 18-month process to get the code and all the things they want to do on it approved by the carriers. So Sprint has to approve it, and T-Mobile and AT&T and Verizon, and wherever in your country as well. They have to provision it individually and agree to it, and they can turn it on and off at will. Some of the pros of it are that it's really easy to remember and use for the consumer. It's easy to remember 6 digits fairly well, depending on the numbers, etc. One of the cons of it is that other companies may be using them as well if you're not getting your own short code. I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a minute, but it's kind of costly to have your own short code. So for the most part, you're likely to be using a shared short code. So other companies will be sending out as well on your code. Many times you will pay per keyword. So you'll pay a certain amount to have a keyword for each month. Like I know one of the vendors I use has a fee, $25 a month for each keyword. So I really don't do as many things with keywords as I'd like to, because it's $25 a month every time you think of it. There are some short code carriers that have unlimited keywords. Even so, on a shared short code, you're not likely to really get the common words. One of the great things about short codes is they have very high capacity to send a lot of messages quickly. Tens of thousands of messages in seconds can go out over a short code. Now, a long code is actually a phone number, and it works on all phones and carriers without much oversight. It really is a phone number that's sending the message. So it's not a short code. One of the cons of it is that it may not seem like a text messaging campaign at first to consumers. They may be thinking, why am I texting a phone number? That's not how this works. So it can be a little confusing. One really great thing about it is they are unique to one business. So only one business is using a long code at a time, and so you don't have to worry about other people getting messages from other vendors on that same code number. On a long code, you can get all of the keywords that you want, unlimited, and they'll be all yours. So all the really good ones can come off of your number. You can have info and, pizza, or, whatever the ones that you might want are. Now, long codes do not send as quickly. They have each of the carriers, or each of the text messaging vendors that sells long codes has a little bit of a throttling limit. It will only be sending, 600 messages an hour, for example. So if you have a really long big list and need to send things out quickly, the long code's not going to work for you. So this is why I was saying you really need to understand the difference between short codes and long codes before you get going in your campaigns. If you have a really high capacity, very urgent, sensitive, time sensitive campaigns that you're going to be doing, you can't be working with a long code. It's not going to serve your purpose. You're going to need a short code. However, if you don't and you'd like to have more keywords and that sort of thing, you'll be fine with a long code. So that is sort of your choices there. Now, I mentioned that you could lease your own short code by building your own platform. By that, I mean you have to literally build your own software, and then you have to go through this very long, painful process of getting your short code pulled together and approved by the carriers. 18 months, seriously, to have that happen. Or you can utilize a shared short code or a long code and use someone else's software where you're paying a small monthly fee and per message costs, which you would pay anyway with your own platform, and do it. So unless you're probably enterprise level solution, you're not going to need to know about this, but this is where you go to get a short code in the US. If you're looking in another country, just Google for, short code provision or short code and then your country, and you'll see about that. It also costs about $500 to $1,000 per month for the short code. So I'm guessing by now you're all pretty convinced that you will be going with a shared short code. I definitely have text messaging vendors. They are listed here in the Mobilize Your WordPress site, as well as on the mobilizeyourwordpresssite.com/tools. And in fact, that may actually be a better spot than this, but I will make sure that this is in there as well so that you've always got a link to it. But I have recommended vendors that have good programs for the kinds of things that you would be needing. So be sure to take a look at my recommended vendors. All right, now let's talk about keywords for a little bit, and then we'll be done with all of this sort of basic kind of information, essential but basic information. So let me just say this, that unlimited keywords is a pretty cool thing. As I mentioned before, one of the vendors that I use has a $25 per month for each keyword, and so I tend to really not do as many things as I'd like. I really wish that I was working with an unlimited keyword vendor, because I would do a lot more campaigns with more keywords without having to pay a monthly fee. So really think about that as you're looking to your vendors. The ways that you can use keywords in your campaigns is in terms of best practices compliance. And by that I mean you can have a lot of different lists, and you can send people into segmented lists very easily by just having them reply back for a keyword. And then by them replying with the keyword, they're texting in and getting onto the list, as we talked about in the mobile spam option, as well as the list building component. You can use keywords for tracking things, based on, you can do an ad with the same essential tool, messages that you're sending out, but you can do an ad and use one keyword in it and then versus another. So you can track where you're getting your list build from just based on the keywords. It's a really smart marketing tool. Now I want to show you an example of how you might use keyword segmenting. And again, this is a very specific sort of thing for a physical place, and I use a restaurant as an example. But you need to sort of extrapolate how this might work for your site. Obviously, I have no idea how many different types of WordPress sites I have here, people on the call. So just take this as a general idea. Don't feel like you have to be only working with this exact concept in order to use a way like this. So basically what you do is you have your initial offer, and in this example it would be text drink to 12345, and then you get a free drink with your order, mobile coupon. Okay, and then it says you'll get an instant coupon plus a choice of getting more offers. So then that campaign goes out, and then it's auto responded with the coupon. So right away they get their coupon, and then in the coupon itself, it will ask for people to reply with other keywords if they want more offers. So in this example, it says show at register for a free drink with order, reply live if you live in the area and want more offers, reply work if you work nearby and want more offers. Now what this would do is essentially segment the list into 3 different options, and I'll show you about that in a second here. But make sure then you would have your auto response with the list opt-in. So once someone replied, then you would answer back to say, hey, great, you're on the list. We're going to send you more specials. Here's where the 3 lists are. It says 2 lists, 2 campaigns, but the third one is really the drink, and it actually isn't a list because they really are the folks who are tourists or the people who are not interested. They didn't reply back, so they basically just used their one-time coupon and off they go. So what you're going to want to do is just make sure that you keep that drink list cleared off, especially if you're working with one of the text messaging vendors who charges you by the number of subscribers you have. See, this is why this would be really critical, because when people subscribe into something, when they use a keyword they end up essentially on the list in your subscriber base. And if you're paying by the subscriber, you don't want a bunch of numbers in there that aren't able to be used. So what you could do is periodically go in and clean out all the numbers that were on the drink list because they don't want to be contacted anymore. They're just on the original coupon. All right, so now let's take a look at the 2 lists you do have. You have the live and the work. And the reason that you would want to segment in this example, and this can be by topic, it doesn't necessarily have to be this exact thing. Obviously, you could say, maybe you've got a couple of different projects or products that are on different topics. You'll have your lists based on the different topics. It's not just everything. So the live list in this example would be more likely to redeem evening or weekend offers. So you would maybe want to send offers that would accommodate when they're likely to be able to come into your restaurant. The work would be folks who would be more likely to redeem lunchtime offers. So you can see how what you're doing is segmenting out the people that are not really wanting to be on the list. You're segmenting the people who would want to be getting offers at a certain time of day or a certain on a certain topic in this example. So there's a way to really use keywords appropriately. And then let me give you one more idea. Working with affiliates. If you do anything with working with affiliates and you want to keep tracking things, you can also offer a mobile coupon. Each affiliate and JV partner would get their own keyword to deliver a mobile coupon. So you could also even be using this to be tracking how certain people are using their coupons based upon who sent them to you. It's just a really powerful way to do this. All right, that's really all you need to know about keywords and codes. And now we're going to talk next about your special WordPress plugin, the SMS opt-in plugin that you got exclusively with this course that you're going to be able to use to build your SMS list from your site.